In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how I analyze clients that are offering multiple offers, how I advise them on how to best make use of their budget, and I'm also going to cover a little bit on how I analyze the data and make optimizations. So everything I'm showing you here is what any kind of media buyer should be providing to you. So if you're working with an in-house full-time person, a freelancer, a white label agency, this is the job. This is what they should be doing. So you can see I've got, this is a MedSpa client. We've got 3 offers: microneedling, hydrofacials, and chemical peel. The client had budgeted $14 per. Now you can see not all of these are performing the same. Some clients will assume that all the leads, just because one of them is at $14.85, all the offers should be there. That's not necessarily the case. The lead cost is often dependent on what is the value of that service. So while chemical peel might be, or definitely is the highest lead cost, maybe that's a much higher value service, and we'd be more tolerant of higher higher lead costs. So let's look at the specific ad. So we can see 2 leads have come in at 42. So when we're looking at the ad set level, that is the average of all the ads in here, and we want to see, okay, what is conceivably possible based on the data that we're looking at in terms of lead costs. So especially in an early campaign or in the first launch of a campaign, this might skew higher, but we might have data to show confidence that it will get lower. So this is currently at 2 leads at $42 on the ad level. This is only spent about $10. And, I prefer to have 1 or 2 more leads on here to have confidence that chemical peel leads for this specific client will be, in the $40 range, maybe cheaper, but maybe they end up being more expensive. Let's look at hydrofacials, average of $19.02. On the ad level, we're seeing that it's actually performing a little bit better than that. We've got all 7 of these leads here. Now, this one got paused because of this incredibly low click-through rate. Typically, I don't pause something that soon, but that was an indicator that, that's just not going to work out for us. So as time goes on and as this continues to get leads, it should get a little less than 1 a day. But also this one is like right on the cusp. I mean, this one could clock a lead any second. Now, I typically allow for about 1.5x expected cost per lead to be spent on an ad before it gets paused. So I'm going to give this a little bit more time. And I just know going forward, $15 is kind of the new floor. I mean, that's where we can expect it. And so we can see this just went live here on the 1st and has not been running, for less than 2 weeks, really. Microneedling is our best one. So here we've got 1 lead at $10. And now you might think, Paul, you should pause these other 2. I call this a rule of 2. When there's only 1 lead on an ad, we need to allow it to spin enough to conceivably get a second lead. Now we have some data here of 8 leads that have come in 2 different ads where the lead cost is higher than $15. So I would need to let this spend at least $30 to conceivably get that second lead. Now, maybe it gets a second lead at $20, in which case it remains a roughly $10 lead cost, but it's still too early to say. So in this case, I'm not touching anything here. And this is a data-driven decision. Based on the data, there is nothing to be gained by pausing any of these ads. Again, we've got a lot of data on the fact that leads can come in at about $15, and it's still to be determined if it can get lower than that. So that's where I'm at with this. Now, what I would be reporting to the client, and in this case, my client is the agency. I'm going to let them know, hey, we've got 2 of these offers that are doing very well, microneedling and hydrofacials. I'd recommend that we pause chemical peel because the lead cost is just so much higher. Now, before I do so, can you see if the client has a specific reason to continue to run chemical peel? Maybe do they hire a new person, or do they invest in new equipment or machinery where they want to push chemical peel as a service to get an ROI. So I'm always asking for reasons behind why we're promoting certain offers. And I'm going to say, if we're looking to get the most leads for the budget we have, I recommend pausing chemical peel. If chemical peel is a significantly more higher value service, we'll keep it going. We'll continue to optimize, and we have a little bit of data that it's actually going to be more in the $40 range. And as we continue to test and optimize, this could get lower. Again, it's still early. So letting them know that that's how the budget is being spent, and we could either pause this and reallocate this into these other services, or we keep them all running and treat each one individually, trying to get leads from all three rather than what is the best way to spend $42 of daily ad spend to get the most leads. If that's the case, all of them go into both of these. And in fact, I'd probably put the same ads in one ad set with all the budgets so that it's going to be getting the best lead cost at any given time. It's kind of getting into a different bit of a strategy on how to allocate budget and different offers into an ad set. But the concept is there of, are we optimizing for the lowest lead cost, or are we going to treat each one as their own, in which case we would want to have specific KPIs for each specific offer. We cannot expect every offer to perform the same because of the value, or rather the cost, that is to the consumer. If this is triple the amount for the consumer as a hydrofacial, and again, I can look at this. I mean, I know what these values are. This is more as like a concept for anything you're running, or if you're working with a new client and you're not completely sure. Now, of course, I know exactly what these cost for the consumers. What I don't know is the priorities that the doctor and this MedSpa have on each one of these services. So all that to say, if the more expensive the service, usually the more expensive the lead. And that's what we're going to communicate to the client, who might just think, well, geez, Paul, why can't you get $14 leads for all three of these? Well, it turns out they're all very different services. So hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you've got any questions on how to analyze ad data, but also as it relates to different offers and the budget that is being allocated in total and for each offer that you have running.